Okay guys, this really is the last video. In the previous video, I started explaining how to save your files. There's one important thing that I missed, so I'm just going to start all that again. So when you print out your files and your different layouts, you want to be labeling them, whether it's a headline heavy layout or a text heavy layout. So what we're going to do, well, the thing about these pages is that InDesign doesn't print anything beyond the edges of these pages. So what we need to do is to set up a little space at the top here that will be printed when you go to the printers and you print out your pages. So we just want to include a little section up here. And that area is called a slug, and it's printer terminology. So how we set that up, we go to File, and we go to Document Setup. Oh, one other thing that I forgot to mention in the first video today was that just remember when you're setting up your documents to deselect the facing pages. So then you're just going to get single pages and not double page spreads. Okay, so to set up your slug, at the bottom of your page setup, you've got bleed. I think in the first lesson we spoke about bleed. That's when images extend beyond the edge of the page. So when the printer cuts the page, it's not going to leave any white space. We want to make an area called a slug, and we just want to make that in the top section. So you've got you can make a slug on the top, the bottom, the left, and the right. We just want to make a slug for the top, and so we're just going to make a 30 mm slug just for the top. So, and just make sure that that's deselected, otherwise you're going to get a 30 mm slug all around. So deselect that. Just make sure all those other numbers are 0. Then we click OK. So then if you have your guides showing, you'll see that now we've got a new little area above here which we can put a label in. So that will then print that label. So up here, then we just draw a text box and then we just label this. So our first one was image heavy layout, and you can choose your type size and your font. I'm just going to choose it a Century Gothic. There, and that's just labeled as my image heavy layout. So the other thing we need to do, because these are going to be printed on A3 pages, and because there's no key line around the edge of it, if you print this on an A3 page, it's going to look like that text and the picture is just floating in white space. So what we need to do is just to make a key line around the edge of our magazine layout. So choosing your rectangle tool, we're just going to draw a box over the top of our magazine layout. And in our swatches panel, again, if that's not showing, you go to Window, Color, just make sure your swatches is showing. So there you got your fill and your stroke. We're going to select the stroke option and just give that a black stroke. So that's going to give you a key line now around the edge of your magazine layout. So I've given that let's just have a look. So if you go to Window, Stroke, so that our stroke panel is showing. That's just a 1 point stroke. Don't go anything smaller than a 0.5 stroke, otherwise it's going to be too fine. So I'm just going to give that a 0.5 stroke. So now we have a key line around our magazine layout. So when we go to print that, that's going to show that magazine layout with the borders of the page. So we've got our image heavy layout, we've got our keyline. So just select both of those. Select that, Shift, select that. Go to copy or Command C. So copy those two. And then we're just going to go to our second page. And I'm just going to go to paste in place. And so that's going to paste the keyline and it's going to paste the label of that page in exactly the same space on that page. So this one is a text heavy layout. So we're just going to change that to text heavy layout. Okay, so we've got those two labeled now. The next thing we need to do is we're going to save these as a PDF, so then you can take that to the printers and get those printed out. So how we do that, in your File menu, just go to Adobe PDF Presets and select High Quality Print. So we select High Quality Print, and that's just going to prompt us to save it in a particular file. So as with the previous video, I've set up a file on my desktop and it's called Digital Fashion Visualization, and I'm going to save that as a PDF called New Layouts. So press save, and now that brings up a whole lot of other options. So the only thing we need to worry about is you've got this side panel here that says General, Compression, Marks and Bleeds, Output, so on and so forth. You need to select Marks and Bleeds, and at the bottom of here is an area that says Include Slug Area. You need to make sure that's selected, because that's just going to make sure our slug area with our label there is going to print. So now we click Export, and if we go to our folder, that folder is my new layouts. It's a PDF, so let's just double click on that and open that. I'm just going to view that at full screen. So we can see now we have our page, our magazine layout, and it's got the key line around it, and we've got our label as image heavy layout. And in the second page we've got a text heavy layout, again with our key line around the edge of the magazine layout. What's going to happen when you take this to the printer, you're going to ask them to print this on A3 paper. So what that's going to do, it's going to put this page, it's going to put these pages right in the middle of an A3 piece of paper, so you'll have a nice bit of white space around that magazine layout. You have a key line around your magazine page, and then you're going to have your labeling at the top of the page. So just make sure when you take this, you print actual size. You don't print fit to paper. If you print fit to paper, this is going to enlarge that layout to an A3. You just want to print it actual size on a piece of A3 paper. That then gets put straight into your exercise folder, your presentation folder. Okay, so that's how to save it as PDF. There's one other way we'd like you to save it, because we do want to look at your digital files and how you have created them. So with your pages, and you're going to have 6 pages in here. I'm just showing you 2 pages just to give you a demonstration. So to make sure you've got all your fonts and images included into your final file, you need to package everything up, and InDesign has a way of doing that where it saves everything in one location. So with your InDesign file open, you go to File, and then there is a function there called Package. So we just click on Package. That gives you a summary of what it's going to save. You don't really need to know exactly what that says. You just click on Package. This gives you some options of putting in your or the authors or the publisher's details. Again, you don't really need to know about this, so just click continue. And that's going to prompt you to save your files in a specific folder. So let's just call this folder, let's just call it new layouts folder. And that's going again into this digital fashion visualization folder. So we're going to click package, and then the computer then gets all the assets together. So now if we go back to our folder, we see this folder in there, and if we look at that, so there we have everything packaged up. We've got our InDesign layout, so that's got our 2 pages on there. We've got our links, so that has saved the 2 images that we've used in our layout. So obviously you're going to have 6 in there because you've got 6 layouts, and it's saved our document fonts in there. So you could also take this to the printers and get them to print out from your InDesign file. There's a lot more assets to save here. Please include that with your digital submission, but also include your PDF as well. The PDF will be easier to take to the printers to print out. Okay, so we've just gone through how to save your documents. I'm just quickly going to share with you, I shared with you some other layouts and how to approach it. So again, this is based on the Vogue grid, and it's more just to show you that there are different ways of treating headlines and images, within your one particular grid. So that was the other headline, navy, your fall color must have, and how we've treated that type and the image. So that's a headline heavy layout. Here's an image heavy layout, so we've used a circle to sort of wrap around a bit of text. Again, all using the Vogue grid, and there's a text heavy layout. So there's many different ways you can approach this project. One final thing, just a reminder as to what needs to be included with your submission, your final submission on week 16. You will need to submit your practical portfolio with the technical sketches. Remember, some of these have changed. So I think we've got 2 skirts. We didn't do one of them. I think it was maybe the blouse. But just resubmit that. If there was anything in your formative feedback that I asked you to look at, just some details of the illustrations, make sure you get those done, just to improve your marks. That will help improve your marks. So the 5 garments with the line sheet, and also the digital copy of your works. So that's for exercise 1A. For exercise 1B, we need your 6 layouts, so 2 text heavy layouts, 2 image heavy layouts, and 2 headline heavy layouts. These are the 6 layouts based on your chosen magazine, with the dummy copy, and one of those 6 headlines in each of the layouts. You also need to submit your 6 traced pages. If you've done those on A4, make sure they're mounted onto A3 tracing paper, but make sure they're all somehow on A3 paper, and put into your folio. And then we also need the set of digital work in PDF and also in your InDesign. You also need to submit your chosen magazine. So if you've used a page from Vogue, please submit the Vogue magazine or whatever magazine you've based your layouts on. So that's very important. That's about it. So I'll see you guys on Monday. If you've got any questions, let me know, and we'll sort that out in class on Monday. Thank you.